The Boston Red Sox have taken a series win in Seattle by virtue of a 2-0 victory against the Seattle Mariners today. Take the series win 2-1 in this 3-game series. They win the first and last game. Lose the middle game, but they won the first and last one. And now they will have an off day heading into their series back in Boston against Oakland. We got a lot of stuff to talk about here, right here on Red Sox Recap on Bleacher Brawls. My name is Derrik, so let's get into it. The first thing that should be noted about this game doesn't have anything to do with what happened in the game itself. So first thing is Kutter Crawford starting today. Well, why did that happen? So Kutter Crawford, Garrett Whitlock gets injured. He has the hip injury. He goes to the injured list, the 15-day injured list. And that means he's going to miss 3 starts, most likely. He won't be able to be active until June 24th. So he's going to miss a decent amount of starts. So the Red Sox look like they might line up a bullpen game, but they brought Kutter Crawford to Seattle just in case. They brought up Phillips Valdez to fill in Whitlock's roster spot, though, not Crawford. So it's like, okay, we'll see what happens. However, now today, before today's game, it's like, okay, well, they have to make a corresponding roster move to get Crawford on the roster. And there's even more breaking news because Nathan Eovaldi, with his lower back injury, he's heading to the 15-day IL, and he'll also be stuck on the IL until June 24th. So right then and there, it's the day started, and you go, uh-oh, this isn't good. Not good. Not good at all. We don't like this. Doesn't look good. I'm a little scared. But it was definitely one of those games where it's heading into the game. It was just like, uh-oh, what's going to happen? Are we going to be able to, do something? There's a guy in Kutter Crawford on the mound who I'm guessing most people weren't confident in. I had some confidence in him, but I don't know that a lot of people did. But the one thing that heading into the game, it wasn't even about Kutter Crawford. It was, one, how long he's going to go. Obviously, he was coming out of the bullpen when he was up in the big leagues at the start of the season. He was starting now, but he had been starting in AAA after he got sent down. But then also, too, is would he pitch well enough to give the Red Sox a chance to win? Well, guess what? He pitched more than well enough because he went 5 innings. It was 5 innings for him, 83 pitches. Only 43 of them were strikes. However, he did walk 4 guys. However, he only gave up 1 hit, 7 strikeouts. No runs were given up. A very, very good outing from Kutter Crawford. And I remember his outing against Tampa when he went like 3 innings in that game early in the year where the Red Sox just dominated Tampa. And I think that ended up being like a 1-hitter. And he looked ridiculous out of the bullpen. It was the first game he really threw his fastball high in the zone, and his pitches, everything was on and working for him, and he looked amazing. And I'm like, this is the Kutter Crawford that we need to see. If we get this Kutter Crawford, he's going to be very good. I don't think he wasn't that sharp today, but he had enough. He had more than enough to get the job done. Obviously, that game against Tampa, like no one reached base off of him. Maybe one person with like a hit, but that was it. But I don't remember him walking anyone. If he did, it was only one person. This time he did walk 4 guys, but he worked his way around the trouble. And the reason we worked his way around the trouble is because the Mariners couldn't get a hit off him. They could walk at a guy on base, but couldn't move him. Even they had two walks and they stole second both times. But they couldn't move anything over. Their first 2 walks, it was in separate innings. Both guys stole second, but then they couldn't do anything to get them in. Then they had 2 walks in another inning, couldn't get them in. The Mariners could not convert on their chances. And Kutter Crawford looked very good. This was a much different Kutter Crawford than what we saw at the beginning of the season, who at the bullpen at times who struggled. And I feel like after that Tampa outing, I'm like, if we get this, I'm going to continue to say this about Kutter Crawford. If we get that Kutter Crawford who and fastball's going to play up in the zone, and as all those other pitchers are working for him, he can be a solid pitcher. He's not going to be, an ace, nowhere near. He's not going to be that, but he can still be a solid pitcher on a big league roster. I think he can do that, and I don't think that's unreasonable to ask of him, and it's going to be a big stretch for him because he's got MLB service time. The Red Sox might look to keep him in the rotation, especially after this outing. They're gonna have to consider it. Now, will they move Houck back into the rotation with both Whitlock and Eovaldi injured? That I don't know. They do have guys in AAA, but the problem is, one, who do you call up? Because Bayo's probably a little early still. I know everyone wants to see him called up, but and I'm on the Bayo hype train. Don't get me wrong, but pump the brakes a little bit. He's not ready for the big leagues yet. He's only started 4 or 5 games in AAA. Pump the brakes a little bit. You're probably looking at one of Seabold and Winkowski. Just depends on, I'm guessing, when the day falls on or whoever they feel comfortable with or whatever. It's going to be something that's going to split the two apart, whether it's the day the starts are falling on or just who they're more comfortable with. They've already used Winkowski this year. And he just had one bad inning in his start, let's be honest. And it wasn't even his stuff wasn't really there that start. So we'll see. We'll see who they choose to go with. We'll see if they just end up doing a bullpen game every 5th day. Who knows? But they're going to have to figure it out. Maybe they could even try and make an early trade for some sort of, starter who at least can just eat some innings in a few starts. Maybe even that, wouldn't be terrible. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. The Mariners side of things, pitching-wise, Robbie Gray was solid. He gave up 3 hits. 1 walk, no runs as well. He only struck out 4, but considering Robbie Gray was struggling in his last, 6, 7 starts, this is a much, much better performance for Robbie Gray. It's so much better than what he was doing, and he needed that. I mean, he won a Cy Young last year, but he was struggling this year. This start, he went 7 innings, didn't have a run. That brings his ERA down to 4.52. So he needed a good start. Then I mean, you look at it, his start, and it's I feel like this is the game. He went 7 innings. Crawford went 5, but I feel like this game was almost one of those games where it's did you really need to watch it until the 7th inning? Really? Let's be honest. Not much happened. Even when guys reached base, there's nothing happened to even drive them in. So it's just we look back at it, it's you could have just tuned in the 7th inning, and gotten some good 3 innings of baseball. And going to the bullpen, the Red Sox bullpen, Bleacher came in, pitched a good inning, a clean inning. Austin Davis came in, did walk a batter, but he faced his 3 batters. Then Tyler Danish came in and got that last out of the inning. And John Schreiber came in the 8th, clean inning. And then Tanner Houck in the 9th, clean inning. And Tanner Houck, 2nd save of the season for him. Looks like the White Sox are going to start using him in that closer role a little bit more. So hopefully they can start transitioning him to everyday reliever, at least for this year, because they need it. They really need it. And I think when Whitlock gets back, you should probably consider that for him as well. Just if he's going to have these kind of an injury like this, you might want to consider the bullpen. You might want to consider it. Now, the Mariners bullpen, the 9th inning for them, I mean, Sergio Romo, but that didn't really matter because in the 8th inning, Paul Sewell is the Mariners clearing away their best reliever. Well, something happened to him, and that was Raffy Devers happened to him. He hit Rob Refsnyder with the pitch, and yeah, that was not what they wanted to do because guess what? You had 2 outs in the inning, 2 outs, and you hit Refsnyder and you bring Raffy up, and what does Raffy do? Whoop, opposite field, line shot over the fence, 2-run bomb. Red Sox take a 2-0 lead, and considering the game and how the game had been all game, it wasn't looking bright for the Mariners after that. Then after that, Sealed hit JD Martinez, which was kind of crazy, and then Bogarts lined out to Abraham Torta. Eventually, finally end the inning for him, but yeah, it was Paul Sewell would have liked to have done a lot better than that. He would have liked to not give up any runs. And then the big thing in the and then in the bottom of the 8th inning, the Mariners got up, and the Red Sox had brought in Jackie Bradley Jr. for defense, and with 1 out in the inning, Ty France hits a rope to right center. And here comes someone who's looking like Superman as Rob Refsnyder absolutely lays out, makes the beautiful diving catch, which should be on SportsCenter Top 10 tomorrow morning. So, yeah, that's an SC Top 10 moment right there. Rob Refsnyder was an amazing catch to get Ty France out. Amazing. And then, obviously, the inning was closed out by John Schreiber by getting Julio Rodriguez to strike out. Then in the 9th inning, the Red Sox didn't really do much. And then Houck comes in, bottom of the 9th, slams the door shut, and the Red Sox win 2-0. A big game for the Red Sox, obviously. And there's a big game for the Red Sox to get the series win. They only drew 1 walk. We'd like to see that improve. The Red Sox had 4 hits. Mariners only had 1. The Mariners got 1 hit today. That was it. But also, too, let's look at this. The Mariners drew 5 walks and had 1 hit. So they only had 6 base runners all game. The Red Sox drew 1 walk and only had 4 hits. They only had 5 base runners all game. There's only 11 base runners all game. Like, there was nothing happening. Nothing. Guy would reach base and no one could drive him in. You could have put Barry Bonds on all the steroids in the world in this game, and it felt like, oh, he's probably not driving him in. That's how the game just was today. It was just one of those games, and you know what? The Red Sox won 2 games, 1-0 in Anaheim. They win this one 2-0 on the virtue of a long ball by Raffy Devers, and then Raffy Devers gave us one of the best pregame interviews and one of the best gifts on the internet, or GIFs, or however the heck you want to call it. But he gives one of the best gifts on the internet we have ever seen, as he did his pregame interview eating ice cream. Perfect. And that's a perfect way to wrap this up. So thanks for tuning into this Red Sox recap. Make sure to check out all the links in the description, the Instagram, the Twitter, the podcast, the website, and all the crew's Twitters as well. Make sure to check out all our previous Red Sox game recaps. Make sure to check out all our previous prospect videos. Make sure to check out later today, or Monday, June 13th, we will have a video covering Shane McClanahan. So make sure that's the Tampa Bay Rays ace, their starting pitcher. So make sure to check that out. And then on Wednesday, we will have a prospect pipeline covering the Marlins. I'd say their best prospect, and Max Meyer, who I'm pretty sure is in AAA if I remember correctly. My brain sometimes forgets things, but I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. So, yep, that's going to wrap this one up. Thanks for tuning in to Red Sox Recap on Bleacher Brawls. My name is Derrik. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time.